Yes, because obviously Ramaphosa, the president, will be delivering his State of the Nation address in Parliament. It comes at a time when the country is grappling with slow economic growth, as we've been hearing, job losses and poor performing SOEs. We're now joined by our reporter, Lindsay Dentlinger, in the parliamentary precinct, and I'm just wondering what the state of readiness is there.
Good morning, Jane. Yes, things are cranking up here. The parliamentary choir behind me just stopped singing just briefly as you started speaking to me, but they are already practicing their tunes, and of course many broadcasters setting up, preparing for the day. But more importantly, I have the Chief Whip of the ANC with me, Ms. Pemi Majidina. It's her caucus who will have to carry through the promises the President will make to the nation this evening. Ms. Majidina, thank you for joining us this morning. The President is going to expect us to again make quite lofty promises. How is your caucus going to carry these out? Are you happy with the way you have conducted your work since his last State of the Nation address?
So far, for the past 7 months, we are happy. There is progress that has been made by President since the last Sona in June. And as a Parliament and a Caucus in particular, our role is to oversight all that the President has said is going to do, as well as departments. And so far, we are in track in doing that.
The President's going to deliver his State of the Nation address again against this backdrop of stagnant economic growth, many unemployed youths, problems with the country's power supply. What are you, as the ANC caucus, wanting to hear from him tonight?
Notwithstanding all the hardships, we are expecting President to give a progress report in terms of growing economy. We know that President has been all over in speaking to investors, and investors has came to South Africa, and they made a lot of commitments and contribution. So we expect President to give that progress. Secondly, President will also give a plan on youth unemployment, which is a worrying factor throughout the country, that the percentage of young people that are unemployed is very high. Thirdly, the issue of SOEs. We have taken a very strong decision on SAA as well as ESCOM, and we are saying as ANC, we must keep SAA, but what we need in SAA is that SAA must be financially viable, but it must have a good management. We cannot allow other people to come and fly our skies without SAA, and therefore we stand by our decision that let's get SAA out of the mud that it is in now. The issue of ESCOM, with all the challenges that are affecting ESCOM in terms of infrastructure, that cannot be an excuse, because if ESCOM is not up and running, that affects our economy. But also the issue of crime and gender-based violence, there is a clear plan that was articulated by the President in September, and so far we are happy about the progress that has been made.
Land expropriation without compensation, the President has spoken about that in his last 3 State of the Nation addresses as well. There's a process underway here in Parliament. Where does your caucus stand on how that process should unfold?
We can't wait to be in public hearings, because this is a national issue and a class issue. When you talk land, it's only then you talk about our freedom. And we are ready. We are supporting the amendment of Section 25. We have an ad hoc committee that is already put terms of reference, and we support all those terms of reference. And we are saying land expropriation without compensation. And we are firm as ANC to say, if there's a challenge in terms of who must then decide whether we pay or not, it must be the cabinet first. Then we cannot put the judiciary from the onset. The judiciary must come when the country or the community is not agreeable with what government is doing. We cannot outsource the role of government, especially the executive. That matter at the moment lies with the executive, led by the President.
Ma'am, corruption still plaguing many institutions of the state, also something the President repeatedly speaks about in his State of the Nation addresses. Is enough being done? People want to see people behind bars. Do you think the country, the ANC, is doing enough to put those who are involved in corruption behind bars?
I think the processes of law must be respected. It is not as fast as people expect, but we are also looking forward as the ANC to say all those who are involved in corruption, they've cost our country and they must rot in jail, and that's what we are for. But we cannot take them personally to jail. We have to wait for the processes to unfold, and our clear recommendation to the President is that let there be a special team that will deal with that, special courts that will firstly deal with those that were involved in corruption, so as to boost the confidence of the country that we cannot just talk corruption, but there must be consequences of all those that were involved in corruption.
Thank you, Ms. Majidina. Jane, Ms. Pemi Majidina, the ANC Chief Whip, saying there that we can't just talk about corruption, action must be seen to be done. And so, as she says, it's her caucus that's going to have to carry out those promises that the President makes in his State of the Nation address tonight.